Elipid snakes, of which the DeathAdder is one, first evolved and diversified in Australia roughly 12 million years ago. While the Razer DeathAdder mouse isn't quite that old, this reliable peripheral has been around since 2006. Every now and then, Razer gives the old serpent a refresh, and for 2016, that update came in the form of the DeathAdder Elite. This all-purpose gaming mouse retains the sleek ergonomic design and RGB lighting of its forebears, while adding two small buttons beneath an improved scroll wheel. This model is not significantly better than the mice that inspired it, but it's still a comfortable, easy-to-use option for stay-at-home adventurers and tournament jockeys alike. First impressions. For a gaming mouse, the DeathAdder Elite doesn't actually look too garish when you first look at it. There is the rather unconventional ergonomic shape of the mouse, and the Razer logo also betrays that this isn't your average cubicle mouse, but aside from that, there are no weird design choices here. Obviously the DeathAdder is an icon in the world of gaming mice, and it's without a doubt one of the most recognizable pieces of gaming hardware out there, but it manages to do that, while still looking rather classy and sleek. Mouse. The DeathAdder line has never been one for people with small hands, and the Elite isn't an exception to that. It's a pretty large mouse, and with that comes a certain weight at 96 grams. That's still below the magical 100 grams mark however. The mouse itself features two side buttons, two DPI buttons, and a textured scroll wheel. Shape and finish. The Elite has an ergonomic design, but it's not an overly aggressive ergo mouse. You can hold it in a variety of grip styles, depending on your hand size, and it doesn't really force your hand into a certain position, like some other ergonomic mice do. Whether you like that or not, is obviously going to be a personal factor. All in all, I think it's a pretty safe shape for an ergo mouse, provided your hands are at least medium-sized. Personally I find that this is one of the more comfortable ergonomic designs I've used in recent years. The two side buttons are placed so that they are well out of the way when you don't need them, but are easily usable once you actually want to press them, and the same goes for the two DPI buttons on top of the mouse. On the bottom you'll find two large mouse feet. This is one of the major external differences when compared to the Chroma, which provide a smooth and consistent glide. Buttons and scroll wheel. Razer has been sitting down with the people over at Omron to create their own switches, which resulted in the Razer mechanical mouse switches, as they like to call it. These particular switches are designed to have optimal response times for gaming, as well as a longer lifespan when compared to regular Omrons. Razer claims these new switches will last you up to 50 million clicks, which is a pretty stunning upgrade on the 20 million that most mouse companies claim. I can't comment on the durability, 50 million clicks is a lot of games, but I can say that the buttons feel great. The left and right mouse button feel and sound exactly alike, and they both offer a nice snappy tactile sensation when pressed, so that you're sure you've actuated the button. The scroll wheel has these new little textured spikes, that are supposed to increase grip, and they do just that. It's not the absolute best out there, but I can't imagine anyone complaining about the wheel on this mouse either. The side buttons are definitely amazing though. They offer a very crisp and tactile response when pressed, and contrary to most side buttons, they feel like actual buttons, and as if they're a part of the mouse, as opposed to some afterthought. Performance. Razer uses their own version of the 3389 sensor in the DeathAdder Elite. This one goes all the way up to 16,000 dpi. I don't actually know anyone who games at those DPI settings, but as we all know, the 3389 is a flawless sensor, so you can expect nothing less than perfection. I've done the usual testing with the mouse, and I encountered no surprises, which effectively means that it tracks every movement perfectly, without any smoothing, jittering, or other nonsense. It's definitely nice that we've arrived at the point where almost every new reputable gaming mouse features a flawless sensor, and the Elite joins that lineup of flawless mice with ease. Software. All Razer mice function as plug-and-play devices, meaning you don't need to install any software. However, if you're interested in customizing every aspect of the DeathAdder Elite, Razer Synapse is straightforward to use. There's a tab for macros, and another one simply titled Mouse, that contains subsections where you can map different actions to each button, create profiles, and link them to specific games or applications, configure the mouse's sensitivity stages, polling rate, and acceleration, configure the Chroma RGB LED lighting, calibrate the mouse for different surfaces, track stats, and tinker with all sorts of other settings. Synapse also supports automatic profiles tied to specific games. In lieu of internal storage, the DeathAdder Elite saves all your settings to the cloud, so you can access them anytime from anywhere, so long as you have access to an internet connection. Verdict: there is a reason the Razer DeathAdder series has remained mostly the same over the years. Its contoured design fits comfortably in the hand, and offers enough functionality for seasoned gamers, without going overboard. The DeathAdder Elite builds upon that reputation, while bringing some modest upgrades to its sensor, new switches, 2 new buttons, and other minor changes. It's still easy to grasp, well constructed, and performs well across a wide variety of game genres. I also didn't experience any issues with the mouse's accuracy. It's not inexpensive, but offers good value against direct competitors such as the Logitech G502 Proteus Core, which is a good alternative if you prefer a weightier mouse, and need more buttons.